with caution.
Didn't think it was working. Hey. Great start of the stream. Welcome everyone. It's your boy Caution. We're back. We're doing some more OpenRA replays. We've got a grudge match that we've been wanting to cast for quite some time, but we didn't get to it last time. But here we are. We finally have the time to do so. And well, to get started, who would have thought? You know, Moots is a lot of bark and no bite. But finally, we've actually got a match that he was willing to play, because my man has been calling out so many people to play and it never happened. And he's playing none other than Yara. Both of these, let's just say that both of these players are very special individuals, to say the least. That's all I'm going to say about it. But regardless, it should be an entertaining set. We got 6 games on our hands here, so I have no idea who won this. I haven't been spoiled or anything like that. So let me just get the scoreboard in order here for these people so we can keep track. And let's start off with that. After that, we're going into one more set that has not been reviewed by me from RGL, which was played in the very last week. It was only one set, so I think that's the reason we didn't do an RGL highlight stream. But according to Triple TP, who I spoke to last time with the finisher event, he said that it was an amazing set, so we're going to watch that one as well. And then after that, we're going to do some playtesting on the new remastered TD to see how it plays, to see if anything has changed, and all that good and juicy stuff. Yeah, let's get straight into it.
Battle control initialized.
Man, I am so curious how this is going to turn out. Point 1 is in the spectator chat. I'm glad to see that at least someone was monitoring this this grudge match. So Moods called himself Young Blood. Okay, I mean, I guess, sure. We've got Ukraine for Moots, and we've got Russia for Yara. So Yara has been away from the scene for quite some time. I think a little bit less than a year. I know that he came back into the team game community. I presume like a couple of months ago, to be fair. And finally, I think this is the very first time, not entirely sure, but as far as I know, this is probably one of the fewer times that he's actually doing 1v1s. Moods, on the other hand, Moods doesn't play that much at all. I think the only time he shows up is for dark tournaments, which are most likely his favorite. And other than that, he is 24/7 busy into talking shit to people in the competitive Discord. But this is one of the fewer times that it actually, you know, a grudge match came to fruition because of it. Like I said, usually it's all bark but no bite. That's been the case for Moods for a lot of times, to say the least. Good scout, almost snuck by. But we see 2 grins opening from Yara, who went War Factory first. So yeah, actually gets away with getting an oil with just 1 guard and an NG. Moods could have definitely done something about that. But he's not even going to take the risk. He is sending 2 rifles back to his power plant, which I like. However, he's going to guess wrong. He took the gamble. Will he see the grins is the question. Yes, he sees the grins straight away, but the grins are still going to have some success here. But instant repair, which means Moods should be fine. Yep, he's going to be perfectly fine. So well played from Moods here. Also with his 3 rockets on deck, so far his macro has been on point. He's aware of the situations, and yeah, actually surprised. So far doing a pretty decent job. Able to scout the base a little bit, see what's going on. Didn't see the War Factory though, which is a big bummer for him. So he has no idea how many harvesters that Yara already has, which is 4. Yara went for a very greedy play, skipped a life vehicle, and we'll have 5 harvesters straight away before minute 4, which is a really good thing. Mood's still sitting on 2. Surprised his refinery is actually damaged. It's kind of crazy. But Mood's going for the plainest and most simple double rev build you can find, the most standard there is as well. APC is a light vehicle, and nothing out of the ordinary here. So he's gonna check and counter the oil. I believe he has his NG with him, so he could actually go for the oil instead of destroying it. That's what I would do. He's in full control right now. He has the early game. We might see an attempt for a snipe. There's still a lot of barrels alive, so these barrels could definitely do some damage. But no, Yara's gonna let it slide. Doesn't really want to do anything about it. And Moods wins himself an extra oil, so currently he's in full control here. He's got map control. And he is still going for harvest. He's actually going for a 6th harvester. It's typical Moods. Moods does this a lot, going for 6 harvesters. And I'm not sure if I really like that. You delay your MCV quite a bit on a map like this. This map does have a decent amount of starting ore, so 6 harvesters is definitely doable. And he got really unlucky with getting rifles, or technicals in this case, technicians. Kinda sucks. Scout from Moods is going to get destroyed, which I presume still have the NG in it as well, so that is unfortunate. But Yara is going to be the first one with the expansion. And I'm not sure what Moods is doing with his army over there. Luckily for him, Yara is going to play it passively as well. Yara is going to be the first one with a tank on the field. Not that much scouting from Moods going on so far, which could be really bad for him later on. There is an engineer that snuck his way behind enemy lines. Could potentially get a easy war factory cap later on. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happening. But for now, both players just taking their expansions, not doing that much, playing defensively. Moods is going to be the first one seeing the army from Yara next to the oil. But Moods definitely has a bigger army here. But if he is going to take the fight, the disadvantage in terms of, you know, defender's advantage for Yara and the flame towers here is gonna screw up Moods big time. Concave is not the greatest either. Main MCV from Moods is already present. Same for Yara, he expanded a little bit closer to his main base still. I do like this from Yara a little bit more. The reason being that you still have the option to play some static defenses in your main base if necessary. Yo, what up, Ubix Spray Can? Welcome, dude. And yeah, this is the lack of scouting that is going to hurt Moods fairly badly in this first game. There's a big threatening flank that has passed his defense. There's nothing guarding his main base. Here's the distraction from Yara, hoping that he can distract Moods' main army. That's exactly what's going on. And Moods is now going to be distracted by this attack here in the middle. So I'm not sure if he's going to figure out what's going on. Already 2 harvesters going down. Moods' expansion is under attack as well. Very good attack from Yara here. And yeah, Moods' army is not doing much. It's gonna take a while before he can get the counter. I feel like the double attack from Yara is a little bit of a double-edged sword. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage, but he's actually willing to sacrifice his main base as well, which he could have prevented because he knew where Moods' army was. So this army could have done a lot more in keeping his main base secure, and this little army would have done, you know, the same amount of damage. And now we're actually going to get a base trade because of that. Then again, Moods is in a little bit of a pickle. But to be fair, both players pretty much are in a pickle. But Moods is going to lose his last expansion as well. And Yara managed to preserve his harvesters. And still has an expansion that is somewhat functional. For the time being, Moose is going to be taking the main base from Yara for now. Still preserves some of his harvesters as well. Let's have a look at the combat value in the meantime. Moose definitely with the stronger army still. But in terms of macro, I would say that Yara is slightly ahead. However, leaving all these Raxes up might actually not be the smartest of plays from Yara. Because that will allow Mood still be able to have a somewhat of a production. And still somewhat map control as well. Moose is now going to pick off the remaining forces from Yara, and he still has 4 heavy tanks as well. Moose can actually still overrun this expansion, and that's what we're going to see here. His heavy tanks are not in a good position, but it doesn't seem that Moose cares at all. Harvesters are coming in, but they're going to get 2-shotted. Went for the split command, even though I don't think it was necessary, but still, look at that rocket density. Everything is getting destroyed that is armor related. Yara getting a lot of value here with his rifles. Once again, heavy tank from Moons are not in the greatest of positions, but this last expansion from Yara is going to be destroyed, and that was a very, very interesting game 1. Yara calls the GG, and yeah, for one saying what a shit show. I was exactly thinking that. I don't really think that Moons actually deserved this. But, you know, he had the bigger army and he had the least of resistance, getting the same result as Yara. Yara actually had a very nice flank earlier on. But like I said, he made the mistake of sending his other big army towards this expansion as well. There was no reason to do that. If he would have just stayed in his main base and tried to defend with the army he actually had, the small army would have done the same damage and Moods would have been severely crippled. So, yeah. Mood's taking the first game. I would say convincingly, but I would be lying to myself. You only saw 2 games? Alright, cool. So you haven't been spoiled for the complete result either. That's nice.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
We're going straight into game 2, which was being played on Overkill. So I'm assuming they just did loser's pick every single time. Not sure if they simultaneously agreed to do the first map. But we're going to find out. This one was made by Megatank. Hasn't seen that much play in RGL Season 13, so I'm actually surprised to see this was Yara's pick. Once again, we're going to see a Soviet mirror match, which I'm wondering if they actually handpicked Soviets every single time. Or it's just the algorithm from OpenRA, which is not the greatest in terms of picking random. Then again, there's not that many factions to pick from. But we're going to have some early action going on here straight away. Ooh, okay. This is literally 1 cell apart from both of these players. I was about to say, this rifleman could have, you know, if you send in more than 5 rifles to 1 cell, the rest will scatter, resulting in something like that. So Moon's actually now aware where the army is. I'm surprised we're not seeing force fire from both of these players. Yeah, there you saw the scatter command if more than 5 tried to enter the same cell. Yeah, this is a very interesting map for sure. It is if someone has control over the middle, it can be very rough on the one player who does not. Having control of the middle here gives you really fast access to either their main base or their expansions, which makes it very hard for the other player to do something about... Oh my god. Oh my god. We're seeing an all-in play. Granted, you know, this is a pretty good map for it. You spawn very close together. This is a decent ore patch as well. And moving out with 2 racks after 2 rifts is pretty good. However, I don't think that from this position Yara will be able to deny the War Factory, which is going to come online in 15 seconds. But he is right next to the racks, which is a very favorable position. He actually could prevent from Moods being able to build static defenses. There's the flame tower. Yeah, Rex is going to be destroyed. Along with some Grins, is a pretty decent attack. The power plant is going to be destroyed as well. Which means Moods is in a rough spot. He's going to try and go for the MCV, but the MCV will be able to tank that. This is just a desperate attempt. Harvesters are being pulled as well. This is already a big L for Moods. Yep, Harvester's going to go down. Lost his entire double ref army. APC is coming in to try and save the day, but how will he do that? A couple of rockets will solve that problem for Yara fairly easily. Yep. Yara's going to be able to deny this eco as well, which means he can claim this eco for himself. I guess that's what he should do. He should probably go into another ref, followed by the War Factory. Yeah, Mood still doesn't have a Rax, so he won't be able to save himself with static defenses. This is over. This is completely over. The desperate attempt is being pulled. 3 Harvesters going for crushes, but even then, MCV has nowhere to go. He's way too far behind. Oh, well, this is smart, but he's not going to be able to save his engineer. That's really unfortunate. Nice from Yara though, paying attention to his main base still to deny that from happening. That could have been a game changer for sure. But even then, I would say that I would imply that Moods was too far behind. But he's going to try again though. He's going to make a new NG and claim that for himself. Then again, if Yara pays attention once again, he can still sell a riff, or he can try to crush it with the Harvesters. So yeah, this is over. How much cash does Moods have? He does have enough to rebuild. But now Yara is probably going to sell the other refinery, because he's not going to be able in time, I believe, with the rifle. He actually might. Yeah, there's a ref sell, like I expected to happen. Yeah, Yara's on 4 Harvesters as well. Is going to have a War Factory soon up and running. So there's no reason for Moose to... Yeah. This is just a game of cat and mouse right now. Yeah, I was about to say, there's no reason for Moods to continue. Yeah, very short game here.
Terminated. Battle control initialized.
So we're already at the 3rd game. This is going really fast. Okay. Once again, we got a Soviet mirror on our hands, and we've got both players playing Ukraine on the Isle of Wight. I think this is one of the first time that I've actually seen these 2 positions being granted at the start. Usually it's either these 2. I've already seen these 2, but I think this is the first time I've actually seen these 2 take place. I believe these 2 are, along with these 2, are probably the most fair. Probably also the most interesting positions to have a good game on this map. And that's something we haven't seen so far. And we haven't seen like a really great game so far in this match. But it is tied. This will be the first one going for the oil in the middle. Yara's scattered all across. Going for the hospital first. I wonder if we're going to see naval here, but you know, it's Moods, so there's a big chance we're just going to see tier 1.5. I'm also interested to see if we're going to see a Harvester build or anything like that. Any shenanigans going on. Talking about shenanigans, we once again got Grins coming out for Yara. 3 to be exact. But Yara is going to be the first one finding Moods' location. Oh. That's not the best base crawling there. He will struggle to get to that third patch. He might still be able to... I think he might still be able to reach it with the War Factory. Oh. Okay. Double racks. Triple ref before War Factory. Hello. What are we going to see here? Very, very interesting stuff. Oh. Okay, yeah, Yara definitely fucked his build there. He's going straight for SD. He's not going to have the greatest eco. But yeah, Moods triple ref and 2 racks before even going for his War Factory. Oh, did Moods spot that? I believe he has somehow. They're not damaged, so I wonder how he figured it out. Well, okay, he deals with the threat. I'm not going to judge it, you know. Oh, wait, he's going for a second War Factory straight away. Oh, never mind. I am legally blind. Okay, 4 harvesters for Yara. 3 for Moods, but Moods obviously with an incredible amount of army value so far straight away. But I don't really see the use of it so far because he hasn't really utilized it at all. At first I thought it was going to go for an all-in build, which could have definitely worked on this map as well, but not in these specific locations. It's going to make it a lot harder to do so. And also going double racks to triple ref makes that harder as well. But it seems like we're going to get a rocket drop with the APC. Or not. Okay, Moo's going in to do some scouting. Yara not really with that much army value yet. Moose is going to move out the main MCV. Okay. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of downtown. That's a lot of downtime that you're losing. But Yara actually going to do the same thing. I'm really surprised about this. But then again, he went for the SD, so he's going to be able to have heavy tanks. But as Soviet, that doesn't really matter that much, especially in these early stages of the game. Triple APC is actually going to be a lot more dangerous than one singular heavy tank. And Moods is going to have a really, really good engagement here. Yara will be forced to stay in his main base. No, actually, he moved out the main MCV, was already a lot further away than I thought. So that means he can't rely on static defense support. And we've seen these engagements from Moose before. This is what he used earlier in the Dark Tournament as well. Pretty effective build, but it is definitely focused on doing as much early pressure as he can. And these rocket soldiers from Yara are getting so much value. They killed all of the APC so far, and Moose actually didn't have that much rocket density. He was actually struggling with killing that flame tower, and he also not managed to kill any harvesters. So the only achievement he pretty much got out of that was to destroy the refinery, deny a little bit of eco there, but Yara with the expansion and Moods as well. But yeah, Moods definitely in control of the map right now. But him not having that SD will actually make it a lot harder for him to put up the pressure. If he actually had an SD right now, having that second MCV would have been perfect, because that would have allowed him to put a lot of pressure on the main base and have, you know, static defense support with him as well. along with faster production. And now, yeah, now he's forced to look around. Can he find the expansion? He was gonna check out the expansion, so this is good. Now he's forcing Yara to move. Yeah, 4 APCs here still are going to be really good. Flame towers grouped up, but they're all focusing the APCs, trying to do some micro there. But yeah, Mood's being very threatening here. Going for the MCV. MCV is forced to undeploy, but it's not moving away, and it's going to go down. No options to revive that since Yara is Soviets. He does have a lot of heavy tanks, but he's sending them forward. Big rocket density there from Moods, killing all the heavy tanks. The last one goes down. Defender's advantage now for Moods, and this game might be over. SD coming online. Moods is going for a second MCV this time around, but he's going to back off for now. Yara still has that refinery up and running, so he's going to be fine in terms of eco. He will be able to rebuild fairly easily for the time being. He also got an SD, so he can rebuild his MCV if he wants to. Yeah, I feel like this MCV was not the greatest timing for Moods, to be fair. If he just would have continued building APCs or switched to heavy tanks after building the SD, he would have actually been able to keep up the pressure, but the reason he retreated is because he has no tank support. Harvester not being pulled away, sheesh. But he will keep his main base safe. Yeah, this is if I were Moods, like I'm not sure what he's, oh my god, I'm not sure what he's doing with his second MCV. Like, why would he put it up there? Just finish it off. Just send the MCV over, apply the pressure. You got, he had a massive army value advantage, but no longer. Yara has able to come back, and Moods has finally he's becoming very passive. He's also sending his entire army to deal with a single heavy tank. If Moods is gonna let this slip out of his hands, that would be hilarious, because he was so far ahead, but he's struggling to capitalize on it. Oh my god. Bro, this is, Moods is being played. He's gonna lose that MCV. You know, he's gonna sell it instead. That second MCV was definitely a waste. A complete waste. But like I said, I also don't understand why he just put it up over here while his main MCV still had access to pretty much all the same stuff. And, well, this could be bad for Moods, because Moods is trying to chase right now. Doesn't have the best angle here. Yara definitely with the upper hand. He has 5 heavy tanks to his disposal versus 1 heavy tank. And Moods being split off a little bit. So if he's going to decide to take this head on, he's going to have some issues. Yeah, with defender's advantage here and vision advantage, I would not recommend Moods doing this. But I am so surprised. Like, he was able to deny this expansion, kill the main MCV. Alright, well, good concave from Yara though. Lots of rocket density, but just the bigger numbers from Yara and the concave is going to do it. Granted, he did lose all of his harvesters as well, though. So big bet here from Yara. In the meantime, this small army, this is what I like, and this is what I wanted to see a lot earlier. Moods was in full control, and he should have done this a lot sooner. He's gonna kill off the expansion right now. And picked off an extra harvester. So, yeah, Yara currently on 3 harvesters. Not great. And yeah, Moose has enough reinforcements here to protect from this attack. Alright. So, I would say Mood's still in control. With double war factory now as well. But now comes the time. I wish like he just... If he just brought an MCV over, he would have been fine earlier on. And this army could be dangerous. I see a Grin in there, only one. One rocket. But one static defense could solve this. Yep. Nice, he took out the Grin and the only rocket soldier with the Tesla coil. Yara in the meantime is going to be able to clean up this main base. And Moods needs to finish it. There we go. There we see the MCV. He was building a second MCV to do just that. But he should be a lot more aggressive with it right now. Just plant some static defenses in there. Yara's gonna do a ton of damage here. Pretty much clean up the main base. And this is still a very good defense from Yara, but Moose just with the bigger numbers. Enough armor support to go through that defending army. Yara calls the GG, and Moods comes out on top. But these matches are something else, man. Holy shit. I feel like this could have ended a lot sooner than it did. But regardless, Moods coming out on top. I think Yara traded more poorly there. For sure, yeah, he did trade a little poor there at the. I'm guessing you are referring to the engagement over here. And you know, you're kind of right. Like he did lose harvesters, he did lose a couple of heavy tanks. And I think it was already over before that.
Battle control terminated.
But yeah, he really went all in to try. I think he tried to go all in to deal with that engagement and trying to get the upper hand in terms of army value.
Battle control initialized.
Well, I believe this set was first to 5. I don't think it was first to 7. But in all honesty, I really don't have an idea. Not entirely sure. Lunchtime? My man, it is 7:34 p.m. How the hell are you having lunchtime? Like, well, you do you, man. Go have your lunch. Okay. Yeah, Soviet mirror match yet again. Nice. I like this aggressiveness from Moods here. Good force fire. He's gonna commit to killing the oil. I hope he's going straight for the forward command. Yara is definitely taking a big risk here going for War Factory first. I'm not sure if I like War Factory first on this map. It is big enough to do so, but there's a lot of very crucial neutral objectives that can make it rough on you. Once again with the same 2 grins. Maybe this time it will work out. But yeah, going War Factory first that early might mean that you're willingly giving up this forward command. But luckily for Yara, Mood's not really interested in doing so. But Moods is gonna have a really hard time here. And I'm surprised he's not actually prepared, because so far literally every single game Yara has went for this. And this time Moods is not ready. And he's gonna lose a power plant because of that, which means he's going to be put in low power. Trying to take out the riff, but yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh, almost found the engineer. Could not prevent it. Yeah, with this army, I don't really see the use for moods of going double ref here. Actually, I'm also surprised that, like, with the intel he gathered from the oil, Yara was willing to give that up, which implies that either Yara went for War Factory first, or Yara didn't want to take the fight. And I don't think Moods actually sent a scout over to have a look around. So I'm not entirely sure if Moods knew Yara went War Factory first. He also didn't scout the main base from the start. So Moods willingly gave up an advantage that he could have gained early on. Once again, Yara seems to have skipped the light vehicle, which means Moods has the opportunity to take this communication center away from Yara. But I'm not sure that APC is far enough to... yeah, he's gonna lose it. Oh, this vision could screw him here. No, the engineer's gonna live. Engineer's going to leave. In the meantime, talking about engineers, once again, the engineer will freely be able to sneak around. Once again, those scouts from Moods, that's mainly his it was almost his downfall in the first game, and on a big map like this, it might be his downfall in this game though. Surprised that he's lacking so many scouts so far. The engineer in the first game didn't do that much, but that doesn't mean it can't be able to do so in this game. Both players with fairly even army values. Once again, Yara up more tanks. No tanks for Moods yet, just one just came out. And 3 for Yara already. With 6 Raxes ready to go versus only 4 from Moods. If these armies clash, then that's going to be a big issue for Moods. But it seems Moods wants to go for that base at the forward command. Alright, finally that scout definitely paid off. He's going to try and intercept Yara's army here, trying to intercept this engagement. I still believe that Yara will be able to do some damage, but I will believe that Moods will be able to keep the forward command safe. And with Defender's advantage and Vision advantage fighting next to his base, he actually might be able to take a really favorable engagement here. But Yara's going to back off for now. Yeah, just build a couple of rockets in your main base and you should be good to go. Alright, the bait from Yara was there. He tried to go for it, but he was way too scattered across the battlefield here. So he's going to retreat. And Moods was able to pick off a few infantry here and there. Not that big of a deal. Heavy tanks are still doing very decent damage, but I don't think they will be able to kill. Oh, but Moods is playing with his army though. This is a really nice concave for Yara, but Defender's advantage for Moods applies yet again. 2 heavy tanks remaining for Moods, only 1 for Yara. I see flamers from Yara though, which are being pretty effective so far. But I'm not sure why that handful of army didn't help out with the engagement here, but Moods definitely coming out on top. But I still believe it was fairly even. Both players for a second war factory. No armor support here for Yara, so he's going to willingly give up the remaining army here. And that still had a couple of rocket soldiers in there. Still a really good value for Moods. But so far, Yara's been the one doing the aggression, and Moods hasn't been really able to get anything going. But I am so surprised that Moods is way too focused on one certain position. He knows where the expansion from Yara is. He also knows where the army from Yara is. But at the same time, at least Yara's trying to do some flanks. He almost had a good success with the 2 heavy tanks earlier over here. And this time around, again, he tried to take out a harvester here with the heavy tanks. So, yeah, Moods is not really taking initiative here unless it's just head on. While he could have definitely at least try and go for a flank, especially after winning that engagement here earlier. Alright, let's see what's going on here. So, oh, Yara's going to fully retreat. I didn't expect that. He was already almost there. Like, was going face forward into the defenses. Not the greatest position for him to be in. Most of his army will be picked off here by that army that was retreating from Yara. And his heavy tanks are not really providing the support he needs. But Mood sees it in time. It's going to move the heavy tanks back downwards. And will be able to efficiently take out that army from Yara. Bringing over an MCV as well. But having second toss is like, nah, I'm out of there. Fuck it. I didn't mean that. But really good defense here from Yara. Flame Tower to deny the escape. Another War Factory coming down. And heavy tank here from Yara being able to take out a harvester from Moods. Moods did really wait a long time with going for an expansion. And here we go. This is where it all falls apart. During this entire engagement, these 2 heavy tanks took out 2 harvesters. There's no harvesters working over here. Ref almost got captured. Yeah, Moods is in a little bit of a pickle now. But that being said, Yara is also doing pretty bad on cash. And he's on 5 harvesters. I'm actually surprised because Moods didn't do any eco rating. Yeah, he sold his war factory. That's crazy. That's actually fucked up. Only Moods. Yeah, now his expansion is in danger. Decent. This is a good position for a flame tower, but he needs to micro the flame tower because it's still trying to take on a heavy tanks. Oh, this is going completely out of his control. He's gonna lose that expansion. He lost another harvester. I believe Moose currently has he has no harvesters working at all. Rockets are going to be picked off, and those were necessary to deal with those heavy tanks from Yara. Yep, no eco. No eco for Moods at all. Moods trying to divert his harvesters back to the main base, but Yara's there with a heavy tank already. No rockets in this army present. So actually, this harvester might fall. Moods taking a big risk here. Oh, and it's not going to fully unload either. Barnyard has been sold, it seems. And yeah, just like that. Just because of this big engagements from Moods where he didn't even take out the War Factory. He didn't do anything with that engagement. And he was so distracted that he lost most of his eco during that fight. And yeah, this one is over. Oh, that MCV will be able to escape? Nope. Well, unless Yara backs off though, but yeah. Woods did some damage here in the meantime, in the main base. Got a War Factory it seems, but you know, not that much of damage. Woods did get a lot of value from this army. This is what he should have done a lot earlier on. Oh. Oof. Those were some big crushes, but yeah. Yara is constantly denying him that ore patch. Flamer's doing massive damage here. This actually... Moods is gonna lose this engagement. He has no rockets. And Yara has flamers. But it seems that Yara doesn't realize that Moose doesn't have any rockets. He could have wiped the floor with that army. He had 3 flamers and 4 heavy tanks to guard those 3 flamers. But at this point in time, Yara should realize that he's really far ahead. Once again, here's that army again. Still doing damage. Like I said, I wish Moods did this a lot sooner. He's got so much value out of that small army. Moods should be able to see that, no? I think he should have seen it. Not sure. More crushes. Flames down, burns down his own power plant. Can Moods defend this attack? I believe he should be able to. But yeah, this is over. Yeah, Moods needed to make a choice, couldn't make a choice, except for throwing the towel.
Battle
Once
control
again, Yara tying it up. I don't know.
Battle control initialized.
Okay, we're getting straight into it. Once again, another Soviet mirror match. We're playing on... Bro, is this Einar? Is this Abelan? This is Einar. Goddamn. Still can't keep those apart from each other. Yeah, 2-2. Who will take it over the other? Hard to say so far. This one has been pretty interesting to say the least. Seen a lot of fuck ups on both sides. And I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, 1, 2. He still has a decent placement. It's not too bad. Okay. I am still so surprised that people go for this oil in the middle first. I feel like this one's a lot closer. But I guess it depends where you place your racks. But still. Let's see some defensive options from Moods, and that's yeah, I was about to say that's a lot of rifles from Yara, 22 to be exact. Good concave, but a vision advantage for Moods, and yeah, sheesh. Oh wow, the splash damage actually made it so he got both of these, gets 3 extra rifles as well. Big oof for Yara there. And this is good for Moose because now he can apply the pressure, take control of this third oil, send the NG over later on. And that was a big investment from Yara as well. He actually skipped his engineer and he's going for a second batch as well. So I don't think we're going to see an NG anytime soon from Yara. So he's going to skip that oil as well, which I'm not a fan of. Yeah, very good engagement there. 17 rifles lost in comparison to 6 of Moods. Now Yara's gonna try and prevent this oil being captured, I suppose. But yeah, Moods has a good position of rifles here. He's got 2 rifles here as well to prevent him from losing his NGs or rockets. And yeah, that's going to be a third oil in his control. Let's hope that he capitalizes on that as well and builds a little bit of extra units. Still got some decent money in the bank, especially with 3 harvesters already on the field. This time Yara is not going to skip his APC, but oh, he's going for a very, very interesting. Oh no, 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 no! I don't like that on this map. I don't like that at all. Yeah, this time Moods has a flame tower ready though, and he's way too late. Like, Moods is going to have an SD soon with 5 harvesters versus 2, and like, I'm glad that he went for a war factory, but that doesn't work with 2 harvesters. You're not going to be able to support that. As long as Moods doesn't overcommit here, he can just build heavy tanks and, you know, prevent anything from happening here. Oh, that APC is dead. Oh no, why did Yara go in? Oh my god. I don't feel like this is the map to do this on, and especially not going 2 rifts into a war factory and then deciding to go for an all-in. You can't support that. You can't support that production.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
No big surprise here who will be victorious if this was a big best of 7, but let's hope we go out with a blast with this last game. Every single game so far has been Soviet mirrors, and to be fair, I expected a little bit more of these matches. We've seen a pretty decent amount of all-ins already. Very, very unfortunate. Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen the Discord announcements, there's going to be a Cautious Cup coming out. I would say soon, but it's going to be February and March. And the reason that it's a little bit delayed, it's going to take place before the next RGL season for sure, to fill the gap. However, rumor has it that there's going to be another one-day event coming up. I'm not going to tell you what it is or from who it is or whatever, but that's the reason why the Cautious Cup is a little bit later than that. So that means we're going to have 2 special events before the next RGL season. And it's really good. I really like the fact that we're trying to fill up the gaps as much as we can. So that we don't really have a lot of dead time in between seasons. Really looking forward to the next season of RGL. I don't think we're going to see that many changes. There has been a lot of discussions in the feedback channel, but you know, in the end, we all just decided that you know, the current rules work the best. Which is pretty hilarious. There were some really good ideas, but we just don't have the manpower, or more precisely the participants. We don't really have the participants to do so. There was some talk about splitting it up in divisions regarding to time zones. You know, like a US division, EU division, and Australian division. But yeah, that Australian division would be very small and almost non-existent. Alright, well, both players this time going a double ref. But, oh wow. Very risky NG here. My man's gonna try and do it. Using it as a scout. Yeah. This is also going to be... well, it's not going to be the last stream before the new year. But it's going to be the last stream before Christmas. So, you know, for all of you that are here, Merry Christmas in advance. Hope you're going to have a great time this weekend with your family. Best wishes for everyone, obviously. And yeah, on to a new year. 2023 will be even better than 2022, or at least let's hope so. Right. Well, Woods willingly gave up that oil, and oh yeah, that's not gonna work unless Mood sends his APC over there. If he's going to make one, he's going for 6 harvester yet again. But he at least needs to have 1 harvester over here.
It's not good. It doesn't look good.
Otherwise, it's going to be mined out fairly fast on this side. But yeah, Mood's had 2 racks up and running for quite a bit. Army values are fairly similar. Yeah, that NG. Wait. Hey, where's that NG? He never made it because no veterancy for this rifleman. What? Hey, but Moods did lose it. Who did he lose it to? Oh, yeah, I see. There it is. Alright, second MCV coming online for Moods. He's going to be the first one with second MCV. And he's going for that expansion straight over there. Yara is going for a couple of heavy tanks first. Yeah, Moose could actually struggle with this expansion. But Yara so far not really utilizing his army. And if that is going to be the case, then I really like this play from Moose a lot more. Going for 2 or 3 heavy tanks before MCV is not a bad idea. It's not a bad thing to do, definitely not. But you have to utilize the advantage that you have. The longer you're gonna wait with that, the harder it's going to be. Especially now that Moons has a second war factory, which means he can reinforce his army really fast with heavy tanks. And yeah, this is gonna be a struggle for Yara, especially with static defense present as well. That being said, Moons not producing any static defenses, which I'm a little bit surprised of. Oh wow, yeah, entrance got blocked, so a heavy tank came out over there. It was actually a crucial heavy tank to have. Yeah, no static defense being built still. Actually, not having a static defense present here is gonna screw Moods over. But like I said, the War Factory here with the heavy tank is going to make a huge deal. Defender's Advantage is going to help him as well. This is a great concave for Yara. But this battle could have been so much more decisive if Moods had a static defense ready. Not even that, he's not even building them. He's playing this on hard mode. He's making it hard for himself. That was a very even trade for both players, actually. Static defense is queued up this time. But yeah, like I said, if he had a couple of flame towers present there, that would have been a lot more efficient. Exactly, this is not good. That being said though, Yara's still on 1 MCV. This is gonna screw him over in the late game pretty much, because Moods is now on 2 War Factories, so he will be able to outproduce Yara's heavy tanks. Yara also gave up pretty much his advantage that he had with going into heavy tanks over MCV. Actually might still get the oil. Yeah, it's gonna get it. Nice. I like that. So yeah, Moon's definitely in control. Yara has a bit more of an advantage in terms of army value, but Yara's main base is a lot more vulnerable than Moon's main base. Let's see how this will turn out. Once again, defender's advantage. No, Moose is a little bit afraid here of Yara. Moose could have definitely taken this fight, but now Yara has a way better concave, way more mass. Tesla Coil coming down. That's going to be a really good Tesla Coil actually to kill those heavy tanks off. But the concave from Yara is still good. Moose took a really poor engagement there. With that being said, he's going to sacrifice a couple of harvesters. And yeah, once again with defender's advantage, Moose most likely is going to clutch it out. Yes, sir. But not before Yara takes out another harvester. Yeah, that was a very, very poor engagement from Moose there. He was a little bit indecisive in what to do. Like, he willingly gave up defender's advantage earlier, and then he retreated, pressed the stop command, but his army was scattered across this entire square while Yara was attacking from like an angle like this. So using his manpower way more efficient. This one could end badly as well. Deploy! No! What is going on? Oh, Moose. What is going on? Bro, this is... I don't know what to call this. Alright, so Moose needs to be careful now because he lost his MCV up here. Which means he needs to have his army present at all times. Moose somehow did came out on top in that engagement. But he needs to do something, otherwise he's going to let Yara rebuild. He's going to let Yara attack from a different angle yet again. And that's a very ballsy MCV to move forward to, with no scouts, no vision, no idea what's going on over there. And also his only MCV. So far, interesting decision making from both players to say the least. For sure. Then again, Mood's definitely with the advantage. There's a ton of heavy tanks. He could actually just move forward, deal with the expansion. But if he's going to wait too long, that means Yara is going to be able to set up a couple of flanks. Yara is going to be the one taking the engagement here onto the expansion. Yeah, this could be the decisive engagement. Moods is going to have defender's advantage. He's going to have vision advantage with the buildings present. Yara forced to retreat, but even if he's going to have defender's advantage, he's not going to be able to deal with this army. Oh no. Okay, well actually I do like that. Yara is expecting it somewhat. I really like this from Moods. He was probably considering that Yara was going to retreat all of his forces, reroute him to the main base. And oh, Yara pulling the harvest. This is a desperate attempt. So many rockets there. Harvest is getting melted. Now defender's advantage for Moods. He has heavy tanks on every single corner, so he's going to preserve his army the best he can. Yara still moving forward with these heavy tanks. He will be able to get in. He's actually getting a decent trade, but Moods still with the bigger army. Moods actually traded really well there. Yara used a lot of forces to break through that defense. But so far, Yara only being with one MCV has managed to preserve his expansion and his main base fairly well, rotating with his armies in between. And he's going to try and make something happen here. Once again, no static defense is being built by Moods. Moods really needs to learn how to deploy with alt move. But yeah, this was the green light for Moods. He saw the army in the bottom. He knew that there was nothing to defend this expansion. This is still a very crucial expansion for Yara to have. Moods also sees no MCV present, so he should have an idea where the remaining expansion from Yara is. Yara actually went for a third war factory as well. So once again, we're going to see some base trades going on here. Yara at least making the mistake of going straight for the war factory. He's going to get it, but he lost most of his army there. This is something that could have been prevented. In the meantime, Moods is going straight for the Konyard. Konyard will not be able to escape. Moods definitely needs to finish this expansion though. Flame tower there is going to save him from the remaining army. Another army going to the main base. Now this is what we wanted to see. These splits is what we wanted to see, and what was necessary to close this game out. Now there is literally nothing present from Yara to be able to do anything about this. Still preserved some army which could later use to put pressure on this expansion up top. New MCV being built. Not the greatest of timings. Oh, Yara has no rockets present in his army. So that war factory is going to go down. That's going to slow down Yara even more. He still has his war factory up there, but that means he's pretty much forced to, you know, put pressure onto the main base, because it's going to take him a long time to reinforce his army from the main base. From a war factory all the way up top. And now I really like this from Moose. Now he's actually doing some really good decision making, going back and forth from the expansion to the main base, putting pressure on the ore patch up top as well again, making use of his remaining army over here to kill the oil. Would love to see him pull the army over here. Perfect. Yeah, now he's putting on max pressure from different locations, doing some nice multi-proms. That's what we wanted to see from Moods this entire set, to be honest. Yara's gonna try and return the favor, deal some damage as well with his last remaining forces, but his fate has already been decided. So it seems that Moods did put his mouth where his money was. Yara lost all of his expansions, down to 3 harvesters as well, which is going to be able to preserve his MCV. And yeah, Yara going back to his main base, that's it. Everything's still doing damage, getting some decent kills, but Yara's been put way too far behind. $22K versus 7K as well. Fight is almost over, so let's have a look at the graph in the meantime. Yeah, all these peaks, this is pretty much like I said, the longer this game is going to take on, the harder it's going to be for Yara to be able to do anything here, because he made that decision of staying on one MCV. Just gave him a lot of downtime in making expansions and keeping his eco going very fluent. And yeah, Moods just could keep expanding like that, which results in a lot more production, bigger army, and you can allow yourself to have more wins. Yara calls the GG, and that means Moods is gonna be victorious in this slugfest between these two players. Congratulations to Moods for coming out on top. And yeah, like I said, it's fun to see for the first time that
Terminated.